Hi, good night everyone. Although it's morning here for me. I changed where I was before, but the real reason I want to have this talk, I don't know if you could remember, about a few weeks ago I had raised a question asking everyone what they think I should do to address a situation that I saw, and it happened on 4 different occasions in 3 different countries. And I honestly thought perhaps it's something I should talk about. Anyway, I did not want to ask the female manager until I actually, or very near time for me to leave. So I asked her, I left yesterday because it's Sunday already here for me. So I asked her on Friday and I told her, I said, here, I hope you're not offended, but this is what I experienced. And I don't know if it's something culturally or so about women experiencing the menstrual cycle or the period and going pain and the working and don't have like the opportunity to take time off or anything like that. And she said, no, she said, no, Miss Simon. She said, no. She said, perhaps there was a time it was like that, but now if someone is feeling any form of discomfort, they could approach the manager and they will get time off or things like that. And she said, oh, but although it changed, perhaps it's still uncomfortable for people to talk about. I said, I understand. And then it made me start thinking about, right now you hear everybody talking about menopause. It's something that persons didn't want to talk about. I could remember as a child, it was looked at like perhaps a woman is losing part of herself. She's no longer attractive or she's no longer feminine. They would say things, she's going upstairs. And it was always talked about with like a lot of discomfort and your life turning upside down. And this what's happening now is that, and you know what made me start thinking too? And before I said anything, I went back to 3 years of my doctor's appointment, because the beauty now, you could go online and pull up information. And I look at all the blood work that was done, the checking my calcium, my liver, my kidneys, everything. They're asking your age. No one checks to see the level of your estrogen. And this the problem, is that every time you go, someone will ask you, did you have your flu shots? I never had flu. I never had the flu shot. But the chances of everyone getting flu or needing a flu shot is not so high. But every woman, sometime or the other in her life, her estrogen level will drop, right? And no one is saying anything. I look at all of these, the blood work that was done over 3 years period. No one looking at my age. No one never checked my estrogen level. I could remember some years ago while in Atlanta, this hot and cold, I would be in the car, and I'm telling you, within 10 minutes I turned the car, the thing on and off, maybe about 20, 25 times. The minute I turn it on, I feel very hot. The minute I turn it off, I feel very cold. And it's like going back and forth. I went to the gynecologist, yearly checkup, and I asked her, I said, am I going through menopause? She said, no, Miss Simon, you overlaid. No one said anything but premenopause. And it's a female. And there's the thing about it, is that we as women, sad to say, we're in some trouble with our health. Because even the people that we could depend on or are supposed to be looking out, they're not. And they will check everything else and without. So this week I'm planning on going and getting some blood work done. And the reason I'm going to get the blood work done is for them, because I see in the package they check your estrogen level or your cortisol level, which is good. But it's the same thing with this whole thing with menstruating and seeing your period, is that although she's saying it, and perhaps even in her mind, because how she's thinking, doesn't necessarily mean even in the same brand of hotels, every other female manager will think the same way or treat the situation the same way. And that is the problem that we're facing, and I don't know how we will ever get over it. I guess there should be more conversation about it with young girls and even as women of ourselves. Certain things we say and certain things we don't say, right? And we don't have like the people in the medical field that is advocating also for us. So I guess there's a good, and here, if you could find this information out on Google, why then the doctors don't know about it? It's just that perhaps it was never, not something that really was a focus, although a doctor might be training to be a gynecologist. The menopause part might be not part of the training or whatever the case might be. So it is not. And then you're doing the blood panel, there's not included. But they will ask you repeatedly, did you get a vaccine? And if you see the doctor 10 times in one year, did you get your flu vaccine? Would you get your flu vaccine? I might never get no flu, but as a woman, my estrogen level will drop. And another thing too, during last week, I was speaking with a family friend, and she was telling me she went and get knee surgery. And then I remember all the other women I know, everybody got to get knee surgery, the knee bad. When your estrogen level drop, it affects your bones, all these other stuff. So we would have a myriad of health situations that we're going for surgery for and all this. And it could be corrected if someone starts checking our estrogen level. So I don't know if it is part of the, if like in the US you go to your doctor and you ask for them to check it, if you have to pay more for it, perhaps so. But I'm going to do this blood panel on today's Sunday, it's on Tuesday, and the hospital you get your results back in hours, and whatever it is I will share it with you guys. But it is crazy. But I'm glad that I spoke to the manager about it, because it was playing in my mind, so to speak. And she said so. And what I perhaps will do is, if I ever see it again, is raise it with the manager. Don't let it be 4 times. And I will let you guys know about this estrogen level. So how everybody else doing? Hope everything okay. Things can't be perfect. It will never be. I think we have to come to the conclusion there'll always be something happening sometime or the other to irritate us, or something or the other happening that we're not happy with. But then we just got to look at the big picture. Okay, we get over the last 40 things that irritate us, so this new one we'll get over for. I know it was a big marching day in the US today. This is a new date, but today to you, if you're looking at me in the US. I don't know. I already tell you that. Just trust God in the process. He always works stuff out. And just ask Him what to learn from the situation. And if you're of a certain age, I'll advise you. It's really, really crazy and it is tempting, but do not pull your money out of the stock market. I know it's hard, and you just don't know when there's an end. We never know, but all this will advise you. If you're someone who's living off of the dividends or income from the stock market, I know it is very, very crazy, because you're looking at your money going down and you knowing you have to take money out. No one wants to do that, but we're surviving. You know, we're surviving. And you see the beauty about it, this whole craziness is man-made. You see, if it's something like COVID or the market crash because of the housing, that is even more. This could change overnight or weeks, because it's man-made, right? Man-made, because it's more than one. So I'll advise you, just don't pull out. There's just a little advice. You will decide exactly what you want to do. Anyway, hope everyone is having a great Saturday evening. We'll talk later. Bye.